Let's start today with something very simple. We have this structure with the basement, the roof, with different options here. And we're going to do something similar with it, with the roof, but with the facade. Okay, so we have different modules here. We're covering, or we're going to use different options to design this envelope. We will try a curtain wall and a double skin. Well, at this point of your lives, you should know everything about curtain walls. We're going to design a curtain wall here, and then we're going to design a double skin. Why a double skin? Because sometimes curtain walls are not efficient. It's fine, but especially in a basketball court, we don't need direct light. Okay, so that could be, it doesn't work if we are playing basketball or practicing any sports here. We don't need just sunlight on our eyes. So we need to cover this with louvers to protect the interior from the direct sunlight. A double skin can have this feature, but even it's a good way to save energy. Okay, we will talk about this, but let's start with something very simple. We're going to cover this with a curtain wall, and then we're going to apply a double skin here, and then we will we will work with different double skins in different parts of this wall. And first, the curtain wall. This is where we are, and we're going to work with an architecture wall. You know that we can use with storefronts, curtain walls. Let's start with the storefront, and I'm going to go from level 0 up to level 30. And I'm going to cover the span between two grid lines. Okay, so with the storefront, we have this, we have the mullions, and we have the glass. And if we go to the 3D view, this is it. Okay, can we change that? Yes, we can always change the layout that by default we have in these curtain walls. You see that if we hover the mouse, we can select these grid lines. And when we select the grid line, we can add or remove segments. So if we, for example, select this and remove it, we can change the pattern of the curtain wall. Remember that first we have to select the grid, add or remove segments, then we select the segment we want to remove, and there you go. Okay, so we can work with a pattern like that. Now I can select the grid line, remove segments, and here okay, you can design your own pattern. I'm doing this, but well, it's up to you. And finally, okay. What if you want to create another grid line? We can select curtain grid, and if we are on a horizontal element, you see that we create a vertical one, or if we hover on a vertical element, we create a horizontal one. Okay, so we can do, and I can select all segments or just one segment. I'm going to select one segment, and I'm going to select this grid line here. Okay. So with this, you can design your own pattern of a curtain wall if you don't want the default storefront. So it's quite easy. to do that. So with this, there's a curtain wall here. Why did I do that? You see that I have not placed the curtain wall just here in this grid line. Why? In this, especially in these steel structures, we have to prevent the thermal breaches. Okay, so here the thermal insulation of a curtain wall is the glass itself. Then the mullion itself can have a thermal breakage. It depends on the profile. It depends on the mullion itself. But if we place the curtain wall here, there would be a thermal breach because we can't isolate this. Okay, so finally we will have to design the corner. We will do that later, but make sure that the curtain wall is covering this so that there's the thermal envelope is the curtain wall. It's not the steel structure. Okay, because steel doesn't have any thermal insulation at all, and it will be a thermal breach. So now we do this. We don't. Yeah, we keep the curtain wall as the thermal envelope, and the steel structure is inside. Okay, and then we will design something for the corner. Okay, so the next curtain wall for this, between these two grid lines, it will be here, and then we'll have to isolate with some thermal insulation this corner. But today we're not going to do that. We're going just to design a different double skins. Okay, so let's work with something very simple, and we're going to use massing inside and in place mass. So a double skin is something. Okay, it's something that is. If this is the line of the thermal envelope, it's outside the thermal envelope. So the thermal envelope is the curtain wall, and I'm going to do something here to protect the curtain wall, the glass, from the sunlight. As I told you, it's something very simple. I'm going to create a rectangle here, make sure that we are on level 0, okay? And we create that rectangle between these two grid lines. The thickness, well, doesn't matter. So let's do this. And before finishing mass, we're going to see what we are doing. You see that we have created that. Now we select the rectangle, we create the solid form, and then we move it up to cover the curtain wall. Okay. Every mass element, it's transparent, you see. But what I want to do now, I want to create different louvers. A louver is something that lets the air happen, passes through it, but it doesn't let the sun happen, passes. Okay, so the air passes through this, but the sun doesn't, because we have like different elements and they provide shade to the curtain wall. How can we do that? We're going to use the mask, but now on level 0, I'm going to create another rectangle here, and I can do this, and this rectangle, I want to, it's 5 inches too much, let's make it 2 inches. Okay, so I have a 2-inch rectangle. It extends beyond the first mask that I created. If we look at this, okay, and okay, so let's go to level 0. Let's select this mask, and then we're going to move it here 2 inches like that. And now I'm going to create a void. Okay, so I want to subtract the original mass from this one. So I create a void form. We have to go up like this. Okay, and you see that we have created a void here underneath this. If you select this, you know that you can select both things. We select the original mass and the void. I want to select just the void, and I want to copy. Okay, so I want to create like this shape many times. I did something wrong. Now I can, I think it will work. If I select this, if I select only the voids and I copy, yes, it works. Okay, now I want to select just two. Just want to select two of them. And copy. Here. Nope, it's wrong. Okay, I'll select just one and copy one and two. Okay, this one is slightly smaller, but I think this is what I want to do. Okay, I want to create like an element that is protecting the curtain wall. What if I want to open, and this is something interesting because I can open matching the pattern that we have for the curtain wall between mullions. I want to open that rectangle here. So first, I need to know where I am. So I'm on grid one. Okay, so I'm on grid one here. And I can do the same. I can, I'm not finishing mass yet. I want to do another rectangle, but that rectangle, now it's on grid one because we're working on a vertical plane and I need a vertical reference. So that would be grid one. And now I can, well, that's, okay, let's do this. And on the 3D level, now I have to select that rectangle. There it is. And now I have to create a void. And I move it outwards. So make sure that this void is, yeah, it's intersecting the original louvers. So probably now we have to use cut. I select the original thing. Yeah. If you see here, we are selecting all the voids. If you press tab, you end up selecting the whole wall, and then click, and then you click the void form, and you have this opening here. Okay. It's tricky, so you have to do it many times until everything goes well. So you have to select first the whole mass, then you have to select the void, and you have to use cut, and then you have the void here. Well, I think this is enough. We can finish. There you go. Oh, before finishing, I want to, you see here, we can select different things. We can select the voids, or we can select just this face or that face. So if you want to select the whole mass, you have to press tab. If you press tab many times, you are selecting different things. You see, I'm not moving the mouse, I'm just pressing tab. So I want this, I want to select the solid geometry. And now in material, we can change the material, because so far this is something transparent, it doesn't have any material. So this kind of louvers should be, it can be aluminum, stainless steel. The best thing in terms of sustainability and recycling would be wood, can be plywood or softwood. Softwood. So now once we have selected the material, we can finish the mass. And this is not transparent. This is a solid element. Okay. So that's nice, because we have something holding the, or protecting the curtain wall. There would be something, this is not feasible because we have separated wooden elements, and they are not connected by anything. Okay, so there would be something connecting all the elements. What can it be? We can design an element connecting horizontally all these vertical elements. To do that, I think I'm going to work on from grid E to grid F. Okay, and I'm going to create like beams holding all these vertical elements, because as you can see, there is no connection between all these elements. Okay, so I'm going to work from grid E to F. I'm working from the front view, and then we can use different things. I'm going to use architecture component model in place. This is a structural framing, and I'm going to use extrusion. I'm going to set the plane on grid E, and I'm going to use a square, and I can connect these to the curtain wall mullions, for example, something like this. I finish, and then if I rotate, ugh. Okay, so now I just have something connecting this to the curtain wall structure, and I can change the material here, and I can make it longer for wood again. It's softwood. Oh, it's transparent. Okay, it doesn't change the color, but the material is correct. And then we can copy this to different make it transparent now because I want to adapt this here. Okay, so if you keep on doing this, matching the mullions, the horizontal mullions to this, at least we have something that can hold all these vertical elements. And if we look at this, yeah, you see that there's some horizontal line that it's holding this, but in the 3D view, you won't notice because, yeah, it's not going up to this point. We can do something like this here. No, we're not doing that. Okay, so this is the first way. We have to create like a double skin. And here we have all these elements, so we can have like something holding all this. Let me show you what I would do. I'm going to go to massing and site, in place mass. I'm going to set the reference plane on grid 1 again. And now I'm going to create a rectangle from this point to this point here. Now let's see what I'm doing. I want to select the rectangle. It's here. I'm going to create a solid form, and I'm going to extend it beyond the curtain, the double skin level. And now I have to open, because this is solid, I want to open like a rectangle here. So I'm going to create another rectangle here. Like that. And with this, I'm going to create a void. Move it outside. And now this is hollow. If I select with tab, again, I want to select the whole volume. I want to change the material to softwood. Okay. And I finish mass. Yep, this is what I wanted. Okay, so I want to create like an element that is Yeah. Yep. So now we have like a frame for this opening that we have created. Okay, so remember that we have inside, we have the glass curtain wall, but outside we have these louvers that are protecting the curtain wall from the sunlight. Okay, so that would be the first option to create like a curtain wall with double skin. I'm going to do something similar, but with a different shape. So it won't be like a rectangle like this. It will be a curved shape, but using exactly the same options. Okay, try to do this, and then in 5 or 10 minutes, we will do something different.